problems of your friends' proposals. And in this case, I hope that we will learn more about these problems, if there is any. This is Dickens's Hard Times and Dystopia. Uh, I told you many times, first with the title that will give the first impression to the readers, and it is very important. I have told you before considering your proposals, while talking about how to write your title, different parts of your proposal, and it is so on. Okay. Uh, Sorry Sue, for the interruption. I told you many times, as I mentioned with, you see, the title that will give the first impression to the readers, and about different features of a title. Here we see that it is too general. Dickens's Hard Time and Dystopia. Uh, After a general title, one of the ways is to specify the subject. As, for example, some of the themes or the theory that you are using, or one of the most important themes you are going to consider. So, to correct this title, so the first thing is that this is the general idea, hard Dickens's Hard Times and Dystopia. Then we have to add a colon after dystopia, and then specify the subject in the way that he is going to do his research. For instance, he can add an Althusserian reading. Then the reader will understand that. Okay, some students are going to join the class, and then I have to, you see, admit them. This brings these, you see, interruptions. All right. Oh, again. I hope it finishes and then I will continue.
Excuse me, doctor, can you share it here because I have a problem. I can't
I've sent it
download
to
it.
the group. I've sent
Yeah,
it to the
I
WhatsApp group.
can't. Yes, yeah, I know, but I can't
Uh-huh.
download it. So if you don't mind, can you share it here?
Is it possible to share it here?
Yeah, on the screen you can share it.
Share screen, yes? Where can I go?
Just
Sir,
wait.
there's a three
I hope
dot.
not you see to miss the this
There's,
screen.
there's a three dot. You can click on it,
Yes,
and there's a share screen.
share screen, yeah?
Okay. After that, you activate this feature. Then you go
Start
to the file.
sharing.
Yes.
Gmail will start capturing everything this that's displayed on this screen. Now it starts now.
Yes. Then you go to the file that you have. Okay.
Then you are sharing your screen with anyone.
So now we can see your screen. Now you can go to the file and everything is done.
And it is written here, you are sharing your screen with
We can see
everyone.
that. Now we can see your screen, sir.
Uh-huh. Now can you see also the proposal?
No, no, we can only see now the
No, you
screen of
can't.
the
You have to
government.
share it with us.
Now how can I share the
Sir, just
file
open the file. Just go and open the file of the proposal.
from the three dots, you mean?
No, 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 no. Just back home and open the file.
Okay. It is a share invite.
No, no, it's still on the file, sir. Still on the file.
You are on the file?
No, no, just open the file. Don't do anything. Just go and open the file.
But if
We
Okay.
can hear.
you got, can you share it too on your screen if the doctor can made it?
Do you want me to share it, sir?
Yes, sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now can everything see that?
It is too small, yeah? So they can
Yes, I
maximize
can
it.
see.
Let me see if I can. Okay, this is the title.
Yes. Okay. Now you see that in this, you see title, uh, yes, we have first, you mentioned, it is written Dickens's Hard Times and Dystopia. I told you that it is too general. What special things is he going to do in his paper or in his, you see, study? I told you while talking about in the beginning of our classes this semester that first, okay, this is one way. First, state the general idea like this one. And then after colon, try to specify the subject. Like what? Like an Althusserian reading. or a Marxist reading. You see, then everybody knows that in this text is going to talk about different features of society, about utopia, about dystopia, and then knows that is going to evaluate Dickens's hard time based on this theory. So this title is not a good one, as I have mentioned. There are some other ways to write titles. For example, a Marxist reading of Dickens's Hard Time, then colon dystopia. Then we know that is going to look at hard times from this theory. Specifically, he is going to write and study on this concept that is dystopia. This is the first thing, and I remind you of the impression you are going to leave to the readers. So at the first glance is the title. If the title is not good, all right, it is a problem. I know that uh, every student consult with the supervisor and advisor for many times to correct the paper. It is okay. But be careful about the thing that you are going to do. Another thing is, you see, the format of the university. A proposal submitted to the research method for third course in the Department of English Literature. Try to uh, be careful about the style and the format you may see or you find in you see the universities. Always try to keep yourself to the style given to you, not everything that you like, because it is a kind of, you see, academic writing. In academic writing, everything must be obeyed. You have to follow all the principles. Even you see the title of the university, okay? Check it. It is correct here, Islamic Azad University, South Tehran branch, but try to follow all the rules. Then you have to add a proposal submitted to this and that. This is not the correct format. Also follow the rules of the university. Another thing is never use colon after by and after advisor or supervisor. It is not correct. All right? It is not correct. Never use colon after by, after supervisor, after advisor. It is not correct because uh, the use of colon, semicolon, comma, full stop, question, they have, you see, their own rules. So here we cannot use by and then colon, advisor, colon, supervisor, and colon. It is not correct. Another thing with this, as I told you, follow the style of the university. As when you send an article to a journal, is it possible to send to every journal with one format? Actually, no. Every journal has its own formalities, its own rules. So be careful, try to follow all the rules. Another thing with this proposal is the abstract. In a proposal, have you finished your studies? Have you done your research? No, not yet. So abstract is the brief of all the ideas, not at the beginning of a proposal. It seems that you see the researcher has finished everything. Everything has been settled down, and now he has mentioned the abstract. So it is not the right place of an abstract. Abstract will be written after finishing all chapters of a research, not in a research proposal. When you write the first chapter, the second, the third, the fourth, and the fifth chapter, when you have finished all parts of your study, then you know how to write your abstract. Anyhow, an abstract uh, also follows its own rules. Three different things have to be mentioned in an abstract. Again, I repeat it that it is not the right place of writing an abstract. Okay? Uh, After finishing your proposal, your research, sorry, not your proposal. These three things in an abstract. First, the work, very briefly. Second, the methodology and the theory you used and the way you have applied the theory to the work or the works, briefly, concisely. And the third part, your results, your findings of your study. So you see that here, what kind of thing it is. The problem of the study is directly started with, you see, the abstract. Now, in its place, we will talk about the abstract. Now it is not, you see, the time and place of talking the abstract. But consider this that and pay attention that an abstract, again, I repeat it, an abstract includes three different parts. First, the work. Second, methodology. Third, results or findings. That's it. So it is not a good one, you see, at all. With the introduction or the general overview, okay, in your proposal, uh, you here try to develop the idea. That is your work or your works. Very briefly about since here you are going to give the readers a general overview of the whole idea you are going to discuss later on in the statement of the problem, in the methodology, in your research questions, in your literature review. Here, very briefly, you have to mention all these ideas in your general overview. Again, try not to, you see, maneuver on the ideas. Okay. Another thing with this proposal is this that when you go from the very beginning to the very end of this proposal, you cannot find any citations or references. So everything in your proposal, even in your general overview, then in the statement of the problem, in the theory, in the literature review, every part must be documented. I mean, as a reader, I have to know where have you gathered and collected your data. Without reference, it is nothing. All right. Now, the necessary question is another thing that you have to be careful, and I have repeatedly mentioned in your essay writing, is to write correctly with correct punctuations. Where is the place of full stop after the necessary question is? What about the question mark? What about the quotations? Nothing you see in this proposal. They are, you see, very simple rules if you follow them. I have told you them many times, but when I receive papers and proposals from the students, I see that only a few of the students are mentioned. Can the novelist change the structures of the novel subject and its stylistic tools so that his novelist word does not become one monotonous throughout the pages of the novel? Okay. In an essay writing, I have told you here again, I repeat it. At the beginning of every part, uh, particularly in your research proposal, you have to be very careful in what? In writing good sentences, correct sentences, impressive sentences. Since not to choose very complicated sentences and complex ideas. Everything must be so clear. So try to write clearly and wisely. All right? Uh, you here begin with the can novelist change the structure of the novel subject and style tools as the novelist's word does not become one monotonous throughout the pages of the novel. What is the interrelationship of this idea to hard times and to dystopia? Actually, nothing. So be careful about every sentence that you are supposed to write. Do not insert every idea and information in the proposal. You have in your proposal directly give the idea, directly let the readers know what you are going to talk about, what you are going to do in your research. These are important. These are your important tools to introduce the works, not to present your information and your knowledge. So try to avoid some decorative sentences, some complex uh, structures in your proposal. The importance of difficult times lies in the fact that they reflect the ideas, characters, and incidents that take place in the miserable city. And it is a fictional depiction of a transformation phase experienced by the son of this, the city, and its society. You see, look at the grammar. I told you, you are going to uh, express something, it must be clear. You are going to impress on the readers, everything must be clear. Now, is it possible with grammatical mistakes, with errors in punctuation? Actually, not. So try to start with very good sentences, very acceptable sentences, to leave a very good impression on the readers. Where the contradictions are at their greatest, and we will not discover another thing, in your proposal, who is we here? We will not discover these relations. We, the readers, we people, avoid first person pronouns in your proposal. The only place that you can use it is in the conclusion of your research, not in proposal. So if uh, you see such sentences, try to change it into another form, another structure, like it is not discovered, or this study is not going to discover. Something you see like this. This relation in the vision of structuralism, what is it? Nobody you see knows. Without following its mechanism, such as thematic structure, artistic structure, the structure of narrative, who has said this sentence? When there is no citation, it seems that the student or the researcher has copied all the sentences. So be careful not to copy the sentences. Who has said this sentence? Okay, you have read it somewhere in one source. Try to give the citation here. What is the uh, author? Who is the author? What is, you see, the book, the date? Show it in your references. And here in your research in English literature, the style is MLA style. There is a book under this title, MLA for researchers. So obtain this book. It is also available in PDF. You can find it. Try to write everything, form your research proposal, your research thesis based on MLA style. And be careful to keep yourself close to MLA style from the very beginning of your study, that is your proposal, then your thesis, to the end of your Viva session. So this idea, you see that is not uh, correct here. Again moves to the novelist's work deal with the consequent unveiling of the literary text and its aesthetic inherent, you see, blah, blah, blah. Then what the structuralism foundations school proposed does not agree with all that is came with. Look at, you see, the sentences, please. Try to use correct grammar, correct sentences, correct ideas, not to bring everything you see in your proposal. Directly go to the point. Again, V. Should we stand away from the external structure of the text and its interpretations? And to what extent does such a vision help? Then you see the rest. If you are going to, for example, look at the text formalistically or structurally, all right, you can explain, you see, these features in the work. Again, with correct references to the books you have accessed and obtained your information, not to write everything you think, everything is in your mind. No. Again, you see, move to the 20th century. Then during the second, you see, conference. Where is this second conference? Rana Valek. What is the source? Nobody knows. If I, as a researcher, is going to continue your studies that you may suggest as your study implications at the end of your thesis, where can I find, you see, the source? No, Rana Valek. Who Rana Valek is? The title, the conference, the date of the excess. It is also important. Suppose that today I will access a website, then I get my own information, the information I need, and maybe tomorrow this site uh, will close this idea. Uh, then it is not accessible for the others. So I have to mention the date, the time, the day that I have accessed. Because In this case, I will leave this type of information for the other researchers who are going to follow and write, you see, something. Renevelek is not correct, you see here, even its spelling is not correct. Everything in proposal and in a research must be correct. You have to read it many, many times. And uh, first draft, second draft, and finally you can finalize, you see, your research with your proofreading. Then there is no problem with spelling, with citation, with references, and the rest. Uh, I couldn't even find different, you see, paragraphs, different ideas in this proposal. I told you that in a proposal, everything must be well arranged, well organized. Do we have any organization in this proposal? Actually, no. Then it's talking about the school of structuralism or different, you see, exchanges in this idea. So we don't know what kind of formalism is he going to study. Is he going from what, you see, perspective is he going to uh, do his research? What kind of relationship can we find within, you see, this study and the others? All right. So you have to be very careful and very cautious about every detail in your proposal. So in general, when we move forward, then about Lucian, you see, Goldman, reality and imagination, you see, different ideas. We don't know. It is structuralism, formalism, Marxism, imaginative. What kind of a study, you see, it is. So be careful that arrange everything to be conceived correctly as it is. If it is described and explained clearly, then we know, you see, what to do. In general, I'm telling it at on this, you see, proposal that it is not influential, it is not acceptable, referring to all the details I discussed today. Okay, so try to follow all these rules. Yes. Okay. So this is, you see, the end of this proposal that I received. Next session, some of the students also, please try to write your proposal, present it here in class, share it with your friends. I go through your proposals as well, like this one from the beginning to its end. So practically you become more familiar in how to write your proposal. Thank you very much. If there is any question, any idea, please ask me. If there is not any question, I wish you the best.
Sir, I'm sorry, but you mentioned when we take from website the date and the time. Where should we write it? On reference or with the paragraph itself?